Welcome back to Boston has entered the chat, or as like we like to call it this morning, therapy for the Red Sox loss. Alanna Rizzo, come on in. We got the couch here. It's therapeutic. 617-790-0928. We're taking phone calls all morning. We're talking about feelings. This is a safe space. The Red Sox season is over. What are your feelings?
I'm bummed to even hear that. It hasn't sunk in yet. First of all, good morning to the both of you. It's great to be with you. Yeah, I did not expect that. I certainly thought that the Red Sox were going to advance further than they did in this 2025 postseason. That being said, though, there were so many spots along the way, guys, and Casey knows this better than anybody, being on Unobstructed Views with us and all of the things over the course of the season, that there were ups and downs that you're like, there's no way this team is making the postseason. But then, like, going into the All-Star break, it was like, there's no way this team doesn't make the postseason. So there were a lot of different points of the season that you're thinking, okay, you know, this to me was still a positive season. It was still a successful season. But when you taste that playoff atmosphere, and you know how good this team is going to be, I think the future is bright. You felt like they could have gotten past this first round, right? I mean, they had the Yankees number over the course of the regular season, and I really thought that they were going to get by this round and certainly get deeper into the postseason.
Yeah, we experienced a lot of emotional turbulence on Unobstructed Views. Like June, it was like, screw this. Next year, here we go. And then after the All-Star break, screw this. Next year, here we go. So, yeah, I feel like we've learned to manage our mental a little bit. Going with the positive, one of the positives being the young guys. I mean, the way that they were able to show up every time their number was called and just impress a fan base, get the buy-in immediately, which brings me to Connolly Early. I mean, we had a little bit of a debate earlier. Clearly, we have been up too early.
All night.
Talking too much already. But I thought Connolly, if he had the run support, if he had the defense behind him, I wanted 5 innings out of the kid. I thought he had the potential to do such. Travis was under the impression maybe pull him earlier.
Sooner.
Shorten his leash, I think is how he put it. What did you make of it?
Yeah, it's interesting because Alex Cora has always pushed the right buttons, right? And you noticed on Friday, as soon as anybody got into any sort of trouble, it was like, you're out. This is what I'm talking about before the postseason began. You know, it's like against, I think we were playing the Tigers, right? But it's like, he's like, nope, no time for error, no time for traffic. We're getting you out. Now, think about the fact, though, early on the Hill, nobody in their right mind would have had on their bingo card 2 rookie starters with the Red Sox and the Yankees going in an elimination game. And that's what we had, right? With Early for the Red Sox and Schlittler, I got to be careful how I say that, Schlittler with the New York Yankees on the other side. But Alex didn't have a lot of arms that he could go to because of the bullpen usage the previous 2 games. So my guess is, like you, Case, that Alex wanted him to get at least 5, right? Because then you could reset the bullpen and not have them have to, you know, eat up 6-7 innings in the game. It wasn't the fact that he didn't get him out soon enough. It wasn't the fact that he left him in too long. It was the fact that the 4th inning is what undid this team. And this is something that has been emblematic of the Red Sox season, the entire season. The errors, right? This has been a team rather, that has led the league in errors way too long in 2025. There's a huge misplay, a ball that drops in between Cedon Rafaela and Wilyer Abreu, and those guys are 2 unbelievably gifted defensive players in the outfield for the Red Sox. They should have caught that ball. Now, Wilyer said he didn't necessarily call it off or call for it. Cedon said he was just trying to do anything he could because it didn't look like Wilyer was going to be able to make that play. Yankee Stadium, to the fans' credit, super loud. But that's a ball that has to be caught. And that just kind of allowed the unraveling to begin, you know, and then you get a walk up and then you give a base hit up and then, you know, Nathaniel Lowe has an error. And that was the game, right? I mean, the 4th inning was the game. They didn't score again after that, and the Red Sox had no run support. So it was just kind of emblematic of how this went. And in the postseason, you have to be perfect. Just ask the New York Yankees from the World Series last year and Game 5, the 5th inning. I mean, they would love to have that back, and we would love to have the 4th inning back in Game 3 of the wild card.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be back in the World Series, but this morning is not the morning to take shots at the Yankees, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut with that. I'll ask you this, though, because all 3 of us in this chat have covered championship teams in sports. I love the direction, big picture here, Alanna,
Sure.
that where the Red Sox are headed, because I could argue this team was maybe a little bit ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
You look at this young nucleus, you have an ownership group spending money. They're spending bread in the offseason. Do it again. I would say you need to be more aggressive at the trade deadline next time. But I think this championship window is wide open for the Red Sox, and it started this season. Like, this was like the crack of the window, and now you can open it over the next 4 or 5 years. Do you see it that way?
I do. I mean, the future is bright for this club, and I truly mean that. And, you know, we like to I have to be careful because on unobstructed views, we can cuss. So I don't know if we can cuss everywhere else.
I have the ticker for you right here on the limit.
But we like to criticize. I will say that Craig Breslow a lot, right? I mean, those are the roles that come with criticism. When you're in the front office of a franchise like the Boston Red Sox, it comes with the territory. But let's give him his flowers a little bit, because I was the first one that when he said they thought they could win more games without the services of Rafael Devers, I was like, this man has lost his ever-living mind. But he ended up being right. And what that was, it was the subtraction of what was turning into a cancer in a clubhouse. And Rafael Devers, gifted player, right? But you saw the tide turn when that trade happened. And it was almost like the young core was like, okay, he is putting the confidence in us. This is our team now. And then you saw when Roman Anthony got called up and Jared Carrabis wanted to marry him immediately. And it was such a jolt, a shot in the arm, if you will. You look at this Red Sox club, and let's not forget, massive kudos for signing Garrett Crochet to begin with, and then long term. So let's give Breslow the credit there. And Aroldis Chapman was signed by Breslow, and he's coming back next season. And the man is pitching better now than he was 5 years ago. So there's a lot of things to be excited about. But Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, Christian Campbell's going to come back up to the big league level. Perhaps they rushed him a little bit to begin with, but he's going to be back up. Alex Bregman, I am hoping, obviously he's going to test free agency, as he should. Every player should. But I'm hoping he does come back long term with the Boston Red Sox. This is a future of a team that I'm very, very excited about. And I think we're just kind of seeing that next wave, right? The next wave of the Dustin Pedroias and that type of core. To me, Alex is Dustin Pedroia 2.0. But with Roman Anthony and Christian Campbell and Cedar Rafaela and Wilyer Abreu, and let's not forget that Carlos Narvaez is a rookie. He doesn't play like a rookie. And thank you, New York Yankees, for giving him to us. We'll take it. And thank you, Chicago White Sox, for not seeing the value in Romy Gonzalez. We'll take him too. So no, the future is bright for the Red Sox, and it was an early exit. It should not have been, but I feel I have a tremendous amount of faith in this club.
Yeah, you mentioned a pinpoint where we all have to actually have a lot more respect, because everything did not crumble after Rafael Devers was sent over to the West Coast, that is. So that actually brings me to the fact that, fans were kind of holding their breath with the trade deadline. They wanted this team to be aggressive. Clearly that didn't happen, but I feel like the team was able to respond in a way that we weren't anticipating off-season. Now here earlier than we really wanted it to be. Do you think that they need to be aggressive in a sense of, like, you got a lot of young talent that's coming up. There's still question marks when it comes to pitching, but then also maybe another additional big bat in the lineup, even though Roman Anthony has been the ultimate surprise?
No, you're absolutely right, Case. And the reason I say that, too, is because I know that the vibes definitely changed when Roman Anthony went on the IL. But the problem is you can't assume a 21-year-old is going to be the second coming of the Messiah and take you to the promised land. He's 21. Like that, you can't have all of your eggs in the Roman Anthony basket. It's like, yes, is he an unbelievably gifted player? For sure. And they obviously see that with the extension that they've already given him. And by the way, that's a team-friendly deal. That's a steal, okay? I mean, Roman Anthony is going to make absolute he's going to get the bag several times over.
I was like, he's trying not to cuss.
I know, it's so hard for me. It's so hard, which is bad. I'm sorry, Mom. Like, wow, what's wrong with me? But no, I do. Of course, you always want your team to be aggressive at the deadline. Everybody wanted, Joe Ryan in the starting rotation. Everybody wanted Mason Miller or Johan Duran. And, Mason Miller ends up with the San Diego Padres, who are, are bounced in the first round. And everybody wanted Johan Duran, and Philly's bullpen just got a whole hell of a lot better because they got him. But, Craig Breslow didn't get that big arm to complement, what was at the time, guys, a three-headed monster in Crochet, Bayo, and Giolito. Don't make a mistake that losing Giolito killed this team.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, Giolito was going to be the Game 3 starter. No disrespect to Early, but that's not his role yet, right?
Right.
Bingo.
So that hurt us. Losing Giolito for the postseason. But, you don't get Joe Ryan. I get it. You want him, sure. Dustin May, certainly not the answer. He wasn't the answer in the bullpen. He's on the IL right now. But it's not like this team you're not going to get everybody that you want. But the fact that they got rid of $225 million of salary for Devers, that helps too. That allows you some flexibility, salary cap flexibility, to get players in the future. And I do expect them to have a good offseason. Again, it's good to have these conversations at the trade deadline as buyers versus sellers, and they will be buyers for many years to come.
Hey, Alanna, the team I thought that won the trade deadline was the Seattle Mariners. Now they get the Tigers, who have figured it out. They're playing like we saw earlier in the year. And then on the other side, Yankees and Blue Jays now in a divisional playoff matchup from hell for the Boston fans. But who do you like to kind of come out of that for in the American League now moving forward?
There is not a team at all in the 30 teams that sticks out. There's not one team that's like the by and large runaway favorite. I think the best series right now is Dodgers Phillies. I think those are the two best teams left standing as far as firepower. Now the Dodgers bullpen is garbage. But the Dodgers starting pitching and lineup is unbelievable. So if they can have their starters go deep into games, and I'm talking at least 6 innings, which I know is unheard of now in the new way that we play the game, because God forbid you let your starter face the lineup the third time through. Holy moly. But, I think that's the most competitive. I wish that game was a 7-game series. To your point, in the American League, I think Seattle is the most complete Seattle team we've seen in recent years. They finally have a lineup that can match their starting pitching. They've always had solid arms, right? But now their lineup, obviously, with Cal Raleigh, who is my MVP vote, not that I get one, but he would be my MVP if I did. What they're doing is finally a complete team, right? And Jerry Dipoto is forever going to buy and sell. I mean, that guy, he and AJ Preller in San Diego, they must have a competition with how many trades they can make. But I do think Seattle's very, very good. Detroit has figured it out, but Detroit doesn't have that scary pop in the lineup. There's nobody in the Detroit lineup to me that's like, oh, we're going to just immediately put up 4 fingers and walk this guy because we know he's going to hurt us. Detroit doesn't have that. They have a lot of pretty good players, like the pretty good, Hall of Fame, but they don't have they don't have a Freddie Freeman. They don't have a Shohei Ohtani. They don't, that type of stuff. Yankees, Blue Jays is interesting to me because obviously the Yankees have the pop. But the Blue Jays, as I was saying with the Mariners, this is the most complete Blue Jays team I've seen in a long time. However, they don't have the services of Bo Bichette. And Bo Bichette, the window with Bo Bichette and Vladdy Guerrero Jr., it's closing, right? Of them being together. Obviously, we know Vlad is going to be there long term. But this was probably the final year that those two guys are going to be together, certainly in the postseason. So it's interesting. I mean, it's a fun because there's so much parity in the league now, which is a blessing because you don't have a runaway favorite. I know everybody wants to say, oh, the Dodgers spend all this money, blah, blah, blah. I will say this. I'm going to put this on my tombstone. Money buys you good players. Money does not buy you wins, and money does not buy you champions. It helps. It helps. But look at the Padres are gone. They spent a lot of money.
We know what you did there. We caught it.
Super amount of money.
We caught it.
We
caught
Super,
it.
lots of money.
Okay, so if I'm feeling this out, you're thinking Mariners and the winner of the Dodgers Phillies in the World Series. That's what I'm hearing from you.
I would not be surprised if any of the remaining American League teams are the American League representative in the World Series. I do think that the Phillies are the toughest team out there.
All right.
By and large, just because of the Dodgers bullpen. The Dodgers bullpen scares me. It does. It's just there's a lot of weak links in that bullpen. So if I had to pick, which I hate doing this, I hate doing this, but I probably say You know, I would Phillies, Blue Jays, just because I just the Mariners always kind of fade, and they don't have that experience, right? They don't have the experience of getting over the hump. And again, anything can happen. Anything this time of year. It's whoever's playing the best baseball at the right time and whoever's the healthiest. This is not a sport you can flip the switch.
Phillies, Blue Jays, World Series. That makes a lot of sense. Well, thanks for waking up early and cussing and fussing with us after the Red Sox season is over. We appreciate you. We will be waking you up again to have you back. Thank you so much.
It is my pleasure. It's always good to be with you. I love Casey. I'll do anything for her. All right, you guys. See you later. And I got to start practicing like hockey now and football and all this other stuff you guys talk about.
Yes.
We're so excited to talk hockey with Alanna Rizzo.
John Lyons next, talking Patriots right here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Roll with us.